guys and welcome. Today I'm going to challenge myself in just using my scraps. So I've pulled out a couple of scrap bins which I'll show you. I've just had a bit of an avalanche beside. So I've got this bin full of like collage papers. I've got these two drawers that have just got punched out bits or leftovers from another project, and then in here I'm not really sure, it's probably the same. There's mainly flowers in this one, but there's also some punched out stuff, bits and pieces, some bling there, charms. Yeah, so I thought I'll probably make some clusters, so using some scrap cardstock as well, and yeah, just looking to use up some scraps and more or less have a bit of a play. So it's sort of a bit like a, you know, craft with me type of video. So I'm just pulling out some scrap bits of cardstock here that I keep in a drawer beside me, and they're just offcuts of everything, and they will be the basis of our clusters. So whatever you've got on hand, because you want something a little bit firm for the base of a cluster. I've got some strips here, so I don't know, but anyway, let's make a start. So I might keep those frames off to the side. I'm going to put down a glue sheet. Just put down a small one just off to the side here. Yeah, so I just thought I was just in the mood for crafting. I didn't really have anything planned for today's video, but just wanted to have a bit of a play. I've been cleaning up over here in my studio, and just felt like having a bit of a break. I was having a coughing fit before, because it's been a bit dusty over here. So I might cut these into a couple of strips. Those ones I like, they've got a bit of off stamping on them. This one here I might add some collage papers onto. I might just use a glue stick. So yeah guys, grab your scraps out, have a little bit of a craft along with me, or make yourself a cuppa if you just want to sit and enjoy the process. But I really love putting clusters together, and these can be as big or as small as you want. Can ink the side of that. Let me grab my inking out. Like I said, I've had a bit of a clean up, so which, you know, you won't be able to see where I've been after today's crafting session. But I felt like I needed a break, and so I've been playing around with sort of large containers. In this shed is my studio, which I do a lot of junk journaling and things like that. More for pleasure than anything. I do sell some things on my Etsy shop, but I also have an online craft store called Shazart Crafts, and I've also got a women's fashion and accessories website called Curvy Leopard. So check those out if you want, guys. I can put the links down the bottom for you. You know, and I make jewelry and all sorts of stuff, so I like to keep really busy, but sometimes you just want to chill out, and this is why I love having the studio over here as well, is because you know, you can take that half an hour to yourself. So what I've apart from organising today, I've done up all the weekend orders too, so I've just finished those, and have a little bit of a crafting session here, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to go over and make myself a coffee, I think. It's a bit of a warmish day. You can probably hear the air conditioner in the background there. Just only half this shed's insulated, so while it doesn't get tremendously hot, it can get a bit stuffy on the really hot days. So just inking around these, and then I'm going to cluster some things on the top. Sort of working in 3 or 4 there. This one might add a bit of I'm just building up some layers here, which you would have heard me say in previous videos, making clusters. It gives it a point of interest, and then you put your focal piece on and that draws your eye in. So I'm not gluing these down completely, I'm leaving bits like that because I want it to have a bit of a layered texture look to it. So these are just some stamped off scraps. So you know, when you're left with your strips and things like that, and if you've already got your stamps on your desk, I quite often stamp a lot of images because I find myself using them all the time. And I think working with your scraps, excuse me, sitting down just tearing paper like this and utilizing your scraps and creating something beautiful, it's just so therapeutic. You've probably heard me say it a million times that you know, because you're working with scraps, so if you make something and you don't like what it looks like at the end of it, you don't have to use it. You can throw it away, but you've used that relaxing creative time to create. So don't always sit down with a project in mind. I like to just sit down and play like this. Got some vellum butterflies here too. I might use some of those. I love working through my scraps. See, even these where I've punched out some circles, I like to keep these because they add a little bit of texture or another dimension on. I might ink that one before I put it on. Sometimes what I find with your creativity, excuse me, it's the piece you pick up that starts things flowing. Sometimes, same as when I'm creating with jewellery, sometimes the bead dictates what the finished project's going to look like. And the beauty of layering is, you know, you're going to be putting something over the top. As you can see, that one's really coming together. And that one I'm going to layer in behind, so you don't always have to stick it on the front. See that? And then that one I feel needs something behind it, like some book page or something. And I know that's a stamped image. So that's a book page with, like I said, I have my stamps out, so I was just stamping on a lot of scraps. And, you know, that's a piece in itself. So I probably won't use that one. Find something else. Here's a piece. So here's another example. So to clean my stamp, I've stamped off on this bit of cardstock, and I actually like this piece here that I might put. So I like that that's plain down the bottom. So I'm just going to tear a bit more, excuse me, off the top, because I just want it featuring just a little bit up the top, because we've got this Japanese writing there that I'm featuring, and I like it plain down the bottom there. So you can see that they're really coming together. I'm really liking what they're starting to look like. So here's some examples of the scraps I've stamped on. So just some's on paper, some's on coloured cardstock. I might keep one out. You know, just while you got your stamps out, and keep them in your scrap bin, because they will come in handy, I assure you. And maybe a bit of book page on one of these. Maybe on that one. Okay, so when you've got your layers, now we'll look at, actually I'll add a little bit onto this one, just a bit of green. Now look at what sort of focal point you want to add. Now if you want to sit down and just do a day of all these blanks, you would have heard me, if you follow my channel, you would have seen in my other videos that sometimes it's really great to have just a stash of all blanks like this, or collaged clusters that you can pull out when you're doing a project, and just then add the focal point on. So if we have a look, I'm just fishing through, I'll pull it out so you can sort of see. Pull them forward so you can sort of see what I'm fishing through, this one in particular. So I'm just sort of looking for some elements. I really like that olive butterfly, so I'm going to pull him out. So we've got some paper dolls in here, a stamped image that I've cut around, a plain butterfly, or a stamped butterfly, punched out flowers, these circles I've used 2 different size circle punches. So I've punched the small one out first, and then I've got a bigger one, and it gives you some really great frames. Some printed cutout butterflies. Oh, some mini paper dolls. I love her. And then these are just shapes punched out, but I had a it was a stamped off bit of cardstock that I'd stamped a script on. And you know, if you inked that up, for example, and then just put something on it or added it to, you could add a number on that or added it to a project. Beautiful. If you've got 6x6 paper pads, I've punched a heap out with a flower punch. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look at what we've got here so far. We'll pull out a couple of flowers. This one, I do have a video on this one, guys, eyelet flowers. So I've used a silk flower and a punched out with cardstock. Absolutely love that. These flowers, I actually bought a head of hydrangeas and I bought a heap of different colours, and then I've just pulled them off, and I'll show you what I mean. And then you've just got endless supply of flowers. Look at that. And some of the colours, they're absolutely stunning. So I've had these munched in, which I will straighten some out because I've got an initial supply. But look at the colours. Look, you've got your greens, your purples, and it's a really cheap way to have flowers in your stash, because if you know hydrangeas, and I think I just got them on AliExpress, hydrangea head comes like that, so you end up with heaps of flowers. And then I've bought different coloured heads over a period of time, and then yeah, you can get some really cool effects like that. Or you can just get the head like that. You could put just a cabochon, like a half bead in it, a brad. I've done them with brads. Here's another one. Here's another one I've multi-layered. But they're really great just to have on hand. There's a die cut. I must go through this one. This one's a die cut that I've inked, so I might be able to use that one. But yeah, just have a play around, or buy yourself some of these. They're absolutely stunning. I use them all the time. That's one I've put done an eyelet flower, but I've used a stamped butterfly background. Alright, so which we could use on one of these. I might need a darker background on him. Or we could have it up like that. Actually, I like that. Alright, we'll park him off to the side because I really like that. And you can see just adding one thing. I might put that on a different one. Have it over to the side there, and then you could put a word in there, so we might do that. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue to put these on. So I haven't had a sit down craft in a week, maybe a week and a half. So I've been well overdue. Would love to hear what you guys are up to, so drop me a comment down the bottom. I love meeting new people and hearing where you're from. So I'm in Australia, and you know, I love it when someone says, oh, you know, I'm from Canada, for example. So yeah, so there's one. How easy is that? So like I was saying, if you had a heap of blanks like this, you can easily make a project. So I really like this little paper doll, and maybe she might go this way, or maybe she might go that way. That way's better. And I'm thinking about giving her some wings. Do we like those wings? could give her some green wings. So just having punched out, actually I really like that. I like the green. You know, we could give her this stamped image that I've cut out. We could give her those wings as well. Oh yeah, I love that as well. I might go with that one. So you can see by having different bits and pieces done, when you go to create, it's a simple process that you can go, yeah, I like that, I don't like that, you know, trial and error, as opposed to, oh, I think I might do a butterfly. You've got to go stamp it, you've got to go cut it out, and if you don't like the colour, you've got to start all over again. So normally if I'm doing a project, I'll always stamp and cut a couple extra, and then I'll just throw them in a bin like this. Love that. I'm going to put a bit of ink on the side there, just to grunge it up a little bit. Okay, so that's another one done. We'll put the done ones off to the side here so we don't get mixed up. Okay, this next one, I'd like to, just going to layer a couple of things. So I've got this flower cut out from pattern paper. As you can see, you can go either side with it, but I like this texture side. It's a bit of a pattern, but it sort of fades into itself. Just adding a bit of distress ink. So I'm going to have that poking up a little bit. So I will glue basically half of it down. And then I like this flower that I will place in there. So see what I mean about it having a pattern that fades into itself? So that sort of fades into the background, because I wanted to sort of a bit of a blankish background with, you know, not all these textures here, to add my butterfly. And you can always put a daub of something there, or a brad if you wanted to feature his body. I like it the way it is because I like to work with a lot of neutral tones in my journals as well. So for those ones that I haven't got a lot of colour through, I just like little pops of green here and there. That one I like because even though the paper, I don't know whether you can see it, it's a greeny colour, but it picks up the blue in it. So I'm going to put him off to the side, or should I turn it around and go like that? That one I've done same colour, but a couple of layers. Same with that one, I like that one too. I like that, even though I'm going to be covering up that paper, a little bit will be hanging out here and there. Sort of like a leaf. And with the hydrangea flowers, you get like a variation. I don't know whether you can see that okay, hopefully. I know the light's a bit dull here today. And then we've got this one. What are we going to do with this one? Wondering if I've got another half a wing, which I do, but it's completely, although I mean that looks, if I brought that in or cut it off, that would actually look quite effective. So I might cut some off. Need to cut a little bit more. Trial and error, guys, and remember, like I said, we're working with scraps, so you know, theoretically if I've got to throw this out, it's not going to matter. I'm just going to straighten that edge up. Like if I cut too much off and then I decide I don't like it, well, it's been a scrap left over from another project that I have kept. Now, what could we put in the middle? I'm just wanting something skinny, which he works perfectly. Because he sort of goes, his perfect width sort of goes. I might have to bring that over a little bit. Yep, beautiful. All right, let's go with that. I mean, even that by itself, and if you wanted to add a flower in the middle, perfect. Like a flower in the middle, you could do that as well. Yeah, I've got one of these. One of those flowers, I really like that. I might keep that for the next one. That's another one. So how good, how beautiful. Look at these. Oh my God, look at the flower, these flowers. Oh, look at that. I can't even remember where I got them from, but they're stunning. Just the colours. Maybe they were out of a Bow Bunny ephemera kit or something, maybe. Oh, look at this. It's beautiful. I might ink that up. It's a shame to cover that lattice work up, but I just have to play with this. flower. Or do I put it down the bottom? I might put it down the bottom, but I might add a little bit of something down the bottom under that. But I don't want to cover too much of it up. I've just torn a bit of cream cardstock, just give it an ink. I'll put it down as a base. And this is that stamped one I pulled out before. Just want to add some text or numbers. Such a beautiful flower. And we've got that one as well. I think I do want to put a brad in there of some kind. Actually, I'm going to go something different. I'm going to do a gold brad. Pin back in my glue. Got a little hole punch here. Hopefully it'll go through it okay. Yep. Actually, you know, I would love to have 3 centers. Just for something different. What do I need? Might need one more. Just to give it like a cluster effect. One of my holes are a bit out there, but anyway, not designed to be perfect. just going to use, just to press them down a bit firmer. I love that, guys. And the bit of gold, so I can tap that down a little bit, because I actually dinted one and I really like the effect of it. I'm sure there's an easier way if you know. Absolutely love that. So you could put a piece of card on the back if you were sliding it in and out of something, but that's fairly flat apart from that one there. Love it. I'm going to save those ones because I love them so much. Might put them in my next botanical journal. Now let me just get rid of all the rubbish and put them out. I mean, guys, we could sit here for hours because, as you can see in these bins, I've got lots of scraps, but I thought we'll just have a bit of a quick play today. I'm going to leave it all out on my desk because I might do more of it in another video with you guys, do something a bit different. I do want to do some collage journaling cards because I need some more. So that's probably on my next to-do video with you guys. And I do need to finish off my July junk journal, so I might do a craft with me project while I worked through the last few pages of that, and then I'll do a flip through for you guys, going through all the individual pages, because it is an absolute stunner how it's all come together. And I do have a girlfriend who says she's dying to have a look through it, but she doesn't want to until it's finished. So I don't want to have to keep her waiting too long. But thanks, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this little play today, just to craft along with me, pull your scraps out, or I hope you've picked up some hints about don't throw your scraps away. When you've got your stamps out, stamp them. So if you're finished a project and you've got scraps like this, lay them out on your table while your stamp's already dirty. Just stamp a few images, because things like this and like this, so like there and like there, we can use for texture, layering, things like that. You don't always have to rely on the trusty old book page or the music page to add textures and that to your projects. But thanks, guys. If you haven't already, would love you to subscribe, and please, let me know where you're watching from. I love hearing from everybody and meeting everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and thanks for your time today. Bye.